dear viewers, to another episode of our program New Kuwait. In our program, we will shed light on many subjects related to our development plan and, of course, to our futuristic vision of a New Kuwait 2035. Today's episode, we will talk about a very important subject, digital economy, with information technology specialist, engineer Naif العوضي. Hello and welcome, Mr. Naif.
Hello, and thank you for having me here today.
You are most welcome. This is the second time we have you here in the show. It's really valuable information and very interesting to know about the digital economy. To the average viewer, could you tell us about what is digital economy?
Well, let me introduce my humble introduction about the digital economy and
Sure.
Put it in an ease for the viewers. Digital economy, we can define it as the use of computer technologies for many activities, including the financial transactions and the online payment and whatever technology that come into moving the financial and the economic forward. This is all can be considered as part of the digital economy.
Yes. Could you tell us about what is the situation here in Kuwait in terms of digital economy? Are we...
And let me maybe before introduce some characteristics which
Yes.
is related to what you have
Yes.
mentioned. For example, when we look at the financial transaction that is happening in for example, in banks, or when the users try to, for example, do a transfer in their account using, for example, mobile application. Now, before there was a transfer by the person or the customer going to the bank and try to, for example, ask for a money transfer. Nowadays, we have an application related to the bank, and the customer can do the transfer at any time, anywhere, with the use of these technologies. This is just an example, and whatever services that can be provided by the bank. Another, for example or characteristic for the digital economy is the data. And I will focus on the data because it's related to the information technology and gathering information. Nowadays, there are banks or data banks or
Yes.
data warehouse where they are utilize such information and make it available for customers. Now we moved the data from being sold by anywhere else, but now we are utilizing the data by capturing it using, for example, let me give a very good example.
Yes.
Sometimes, and some researchers in the academic area required some photos, and those photos are rare, which has to be captured by satellites. And these satellites will not move on that certain area maybe one time in a year. And that kind of a geographic area is wanted by this customer, and this will cost a lot. And you can see there is now an ecosystem happened by capturing these images, put them for maybe sometime by request or maybe as, for example, an offer for those who interested on such an images, and they are totally expensive.
Yes.
So this is another shape of what we call the inside the digital economy. The e-commerce, though, for example, e-commerce such as, for example, Amazon, where goods are sold and can be, the user can easily go and do an online shopping.
Yes.
Easily, creating cart, creating a profiles. Now even the movies moved to
Yes.
the world of the digital, where you can subscribe, and when you subscribe, you pay, the money move electronically inside the virtual world.
Yes.
And this is all we can consider, and a lot of more other examples that shape the economy when it comes to the digital economy. Even now, the trading even become digital. You
Yes.
can log into a certain platform or be subscribed to a certain platform,
Yes.
and you can buy and sell stock. So all these what we call them transactions
Yes.
At one time created an environment, we call it a digital economy, whether it is intended or not.
Yes.
But it creates such a digital economy.
Very interesting and very indeed valuable. We will learn about the obstacles and what are digital economy here in Kuwait, but after the break, Engineer Naif. So dear viewers, we will go to a quick break and we will be right back. Welcome back, dear viewers, and now we will go back to our interview with our special guest, Engineer Naif Al-Awadi. Engineer Naif, in this episode, we talked about the digital economy here in Kuwait. You mentioned something about Amazon. We have here in Kuwait local platforms. They conduct economic transactions and a lot of money going in and going out. Tell us if this is working here in Kuwait, and I think it's working here. But what are the obstacles?
Yes, absolutely. There are many platforms, such as, for example, selling or
Yes.
buying goods, and they are very good platforms. They're creating such a digital economy by acquiring customers, and by even give some opportunities for especially SMEs, those who are small to medium enterprise business level. When it comes to the obstacles, we cannot say those are obstacles is just, related to Kuwait. It's a global characterization of obstacles that can happen anywhere in the world. What we can say about obstacles, one of them and one of the major obstacles is the infrastructure. But this is not true for Kuwait. Kuwait is having a very good infrastructure in order for the digital economy to be built, starting from the telecom
Yes.
requirement and infrastructure, which is laid out across all Kuwait. As we mentioned, the infrastructure in Kuwait is good and considered solid because Kuwait, in geographical, it's flat, so some obstacles related to the communication and telecom is not there, which help also the data transfer smooth without any problem or without adding any other, for example, technologies or any other structures. Of course, other obstacles is related to the people themselves, how people are educated to use or trust such, for example, financial platforms. Sometimes we need a time for the people to use the online banking application in order for them to say, okay, I trust the bank to do the transfer. Maybe we went through this journey from really scared of doing some
Yes.
or such a transaction, from especially the moving or sort of transfer of money through a bank. How much those people trust. And the other part, which is related to cybersecurity, of course, how much I am protected. And maybe how much I'm protected lead to the people who are unaware if they are protected or not. These are another obstacle. Why it is an obstacle? Maybe it will prevent some users.
Yes.
We will call them, for example, in the digital economic customers, will leave them out of being engaged in such a digital economy. They will prefer to go and drive to the bank or to any other shop rather than of having themselves engage in such a transaction. They feel they might be a victim for some, for example, hacking because of what they hear and because of the level of education. Yes. Maybe those are major obstacles other than obstacles maybe related to the privacy as well.
Yes.
When you deal with the transactions, you need to take care of what information that you need to hide and what other
Yes.
information that you need to show for others and maybe other entities related to the customer himself.
And this is very important subject, the business conducting business and crimes. This is what we will talk about more in another episode. But here in Kuwait, this is the digital economy is a must. So if you don't follow, you will stay behind, because the other platforms will take the, let's say they take the money. So you will lose money if you don't join. So this is a must.
Yeah.
And we are going, as we said, the platforms and many others. And also, you mentioned something about the digital economy here in Kuwait is rising, and it's okay. The obstacles are not a big deal.
There are some obstacles,
But they are not affecting.
But yeah, somehow, because the infrastructure, you have a solid infrastructure. Maybe you need further to develop the digital economy. You need to further improve the legislation and rules.
Yes.
To encourage people using such, for example, an applications. I can call, for example, blockchain. And for example, Bitcoin. We heard recently that some transaction related to the Bitcoin is not allowed to be, for example, trade for a security reason raised by the government. Sometimes we need to control the, for example, such a kind of communication between the customers and a platform where something, I would say, like criminal can happen in the virtual world. So those legislation, okay, with the control and the opportunities, we need to have a balance between having a control or a certain business level and having the opportunity on the other side. For example, we need to, for example, adopt the blockchain technology in order to make it available for everyone and to make and to encourage everyone to use it, especially starting from the business level, coming all the way to the customers.
Yes, very informative, and indeed a lot of very valuable information from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was Engineer Naif العوضي, and that concludes our episode for today, dear viewers. Join us tomorrow at the same time. Thank you for watching, and see you tomorrow.